Hello and welcome to today's lecture from Lantos. We're going to be getting a message from Lantos and then we will review the sunset reflective seeds. So that's going to be today's schedule. Let's start with a message from Lantos from just a couple days ago. This is the year of the Fline seed. It is in this sublime year that the highest knowledge of creation is received in this realm of existence, issued by an exalted early being, our beloved master teacher Tot. Yes, the significance of this year will be known to all life on earth, to all within this realm. As this knowledge is received, the pathways of light form. The channels of light form, just as when the water first flows along a course, that initial course sets the path for the stream to flow. The early waters choose the most ideal path, a path which will be followed by great quantities of water in times to come. And their constant journey along that path forms a channel deeper and deeper. It is an effortless path. The greatest significance is in the selections made during the early period, the initial course which is taken by the early waters. Later, the waters simply flow. As the light of the new eon enters our realm, it arrives with a few early rays. These are the first rays of light. Then, there will soon come an opening with a brilliant rush of radiance of eternal light. The first rays are sent to this realm to establish the proper pathways, the proper channels of light. Then the floodgates open, and the light which flows follows the channels established by the first rays. In this time of the first rays of the eon of eternal light, we must establish the pathways for the light to flow. These pathways must be stable. These channels will bring currents of luminous radiance to earth. The pathways form on all layers of existence. The pathways form on the physical material plane and on all layers, all planes, visible and invisible, seen and unseen. The light, as it enters the layers, follows the channels established by the early rays, the first rays, just as the rains which come follow the paths previously set. The streams swell up as the rains bring additional water. In time, the channels deepen and widen. In this beloved year, we are most blessed to receive the light of knowledge of the seeds of creation. This is the time of the first rays of light. As this knowledge is established, the floodgates of eternal light will open for all. It is our responsibility to establish on the physical plane of existence the locations of light for the channels of eternal light. We are speaking of our beloved central seat of the eon of eternal light and our beloved gates of knowledge, east and west. We must establish 3 posts of light on earth. Out of 3, all emerges. First there is 1, then 2 and 3. From 3, all. Yes, in this year, this beloved year of the flying seed, we are to establish the posts for the light of the eon of eternal light. Our beloved seat is the central post of light. The gates of knowledge form the 3. We will install our beloved great central translator at the central seat. The acceleration chairs of the light of Genesis are positioned in the gates of knowledge. These 3 master devices form the markers for the luminous posts. The 3 pillars of eternal light, guiding the rivers of light which flow forth in this sublime eon of eternal light. So that is our message from Lantos. Let's go over that because I want to make sure that you understand a few points because it has some interesting parts to it. Now, those of you who have taken the teacher training course, either the one that we gave in Hawaii or the one that we gave in Taiwan or the one that we just gave a week ago in Los Angeles, you already know what Lantos is talking about at the beginning of this message when he said that this knowledge of creation is issued by an exalted early being, our beloved master teacher Tot. Lantos in the teacher training course referred to the beings of light, 4 or 5, that were around at the very beginning of creation. Those 4 early beings are the 4 governing lords of creation that Lantos referred to in the course of Eternal Light, the creating course. So many of you have taken the creating course over the years, so you know the art of creating. That means that you know the 4 dimensions: quality, dimension, object, and ability. The 4 quadrants of creation. In one of the messages, one of the instructional lessons for the course of Eternal Light, Lantos mentioned that there are 4 great governing lords of creation. Each one governs one of those quadrants of creation: quality, dimension, object, and ability. And as a new creation is placed into creation, at the very first impulse, that new creation is handed off, delegated by the source of creation to one of these governing lords of creation. And then it is placed into creation through that quadrant of creation. Tot, what Lantos calls him our master teacher, Tot, is one of those first 4 beings, those first early beings. And so this is something that we talk about during the teacher training course, but now that he has referenced that aspect in this message, I wanted to make sure that you knew that as well. So that is who Master Teacher Tot is. He's one of the early beings, one of those 4 governing lords of creation that we learn about in the course of Eternal Light. And then Lantos in this message went right on to another sentence, and he said, "The significance of this year will be known to all life on earth, to all within this realm." That means that everyone on earth, in the years to come, the decades to come, everyone on earth will look to this year as the starting point, the significant watershed moment for earth, where the highest knowledge came to earth and began the opening of the early rays, the first rays of light of the great star of Genesis. So this is a very special year that we are in. And then Lantos spoke about the importance of our actions at the beginning as we set the groundwork for the light to come. That the first early rays, the first rays of light, come to set the course. And it is our responsibility to make sure that that course is stable, to make sure that that course is clear and able to be followed by the great rush of light that will come soon. This, Lantos specifically referenced the 3 pillars of light, the seat of eternal light in Hawaii, as well as the 2 gates of knowledge, the Western Gate in Los Angeles, down in Rancho Palos Verdes, just south of Los Angeles, as well as the Eastern Gate in the mountains of Taiwan. These are the 3 pillars of light, and the light will come into earth through these 3 pillars. But what you do is also very important. The positioning of the chambers of eternal light, whether they are positioned in your home, in your office, or whether you have donated chambers of light to be positioned in India, in China, in the Philippines, in Japan, in Africa, in South America, in Europe, as well as in this country, America. All over the world, people have donated chambers of eternal light to have them positioned in hosts homes, or buried in the ground in safe locations. These chambers of light also form part of the rivers of light, part of the scaffolding of light that will create the great star of Genesis. Some of you have the tree of Genesis in your home. The tree of Genesis is a compilation of several of the tools, including 3 chambers of eternal light, the 27 wheels of Genesis, golden gate of Genesis, wheels of hope, silver gates of Genesis, superstar cells, super water cells, positioned in a very specific way around your home to ensure that great amounts of light and energy enter into your home to support the health, the happiness, the love, the success of all of the people who live within that household. Many of you have the tree of Genesis. That tree of Genesis will provide you with great benefits over the coming years, but it will also provide great benefits for the rest of society as one of the outposts of light, one of the great centers of light for the world. So these are the things that you have been doing and we have been doing over the past several years, but especially during this year as we practice our techniques of the flying seed, as we strengthen the light, as we strengthen those first rays of light coming in because of the flying seed. Lantos made it clear it is because of the flying seed that these first rays of the great star of Genesis are able to come into Earth during this year. So this year is a special year and an important period of time. Now Lantos has given us techniques to do using the flying seed. We started simply by reciting the various seed phrases even without the flying seed. Once we got the flying seed, Lantos began by giving us instructions on how to find our inception seed. And that was the most important seed for us to enliven. And then he gave us information on our appellation seed, our name seed. And then he gave us information on how to find the mission seed, and then other seeds to enliven during the course of the day. These seeds were not haphazard. They were not random. They were chosen specifically to introduce the light in an orderly fashion to provide as much stability and strength for the light on Earth, as well as in your lives. Now, just a few days ago, Lantos introduced a new set of sunset seeds for us. This set of sunset seeds, this is what we covered on Wednesday. We no longer will use the seed of action and the seed of relationship in the evening, though many of you are attached to those. You like them very much, and I understand I am too. You're welcome to continue doing that. You can absolutely continue to do the seed of action and the seed of relationship. But you would do those before you then proceed to these sunset seeds that Lantos wants you doing right before bedtime. So the first of our new sunset seeds is the seed of hope. For this, you have to use the moon wings to find your seed of hope for each evening. You let fly the moon wings 4 times, each time with the intent, I am hope. That will tell you the seed that is your seed of hope for that evening. Then you take the wheel that is related, associated to that seed of hope, but you don't position the wheel on the flying seed. Instead, you take the wheel of hope in your left hand and you hold the seed of hope wheel, the wheel for your seed of hope for that evening, in your right hand. And then you create using the seed phrase for that seed of hope. Just 3 or 5 minutes. You will do that each evening, and then you move on to the reflective seeds. So you place the wheel of hope back by your flying seed, set aside the wheel that related to your seed of hope. You'll put that under your pillow to sleep with it under your pillow at night. But then you have on the flying seed, already positioned there for your sunset seeds, your reflective mission seed your reflective appellation seed, and your reflective inception seed. In our lecture on Wednesday, the email that went out to you included a link for a file that you could download and print out. And it had 2 columns for your reflective seeds. Using those 2 columns, you could easily find your reflective seed for your mission seed, your appellation seed, and your inception seed. So in the morning time, we do the IM seeds, inception, appellation, mission. In the evening time, we reverse the order, mission, appellation, inception. And we use our reflective seeds instead of the primary seeds for each of those. This is the new sunset seed technique that Lantos has given us. Okay, everyone. It's an exciting message for today. It's great to know the importance of this year, the importance of each of your efforts as we do our techniques with the flying seeds, as we remember the importance of the chambers of eternal light, the trees of Genesis, and everything that you do to help establish and spread the light of Genesis. So thank you very much, and have a great week.